Hi, everyone. Welcome to Starlight Activation. I am Anthony, and we have got a lot to unpack. I literally did just get in from a trip not this morning, this afternoon, and a lot happened on it. One of the things that I've been trying to do, and I think I may have mentioned this in a video before, that when I'm at a hotel that has a bath, I like to put like lotions and soaps and whatever the hotel bathroom has available, and mix sort of like this, what I call, in my prayer meditations, I call it waters of the earth. And that I add these oils and soaps that are also from the earth. And I'm putting something together that I'm going to soak in and try to create like a spa-like experience. And then I meditate and pray while I'm in the tub. And usually when I do this, I have some really breakthrough session. And this was no exception whatsoever. So I've got my journal in front of me. I wanted to go back and cover a couple pages. So I'm titling this one, The Narrator, because that came to me this morning. I think it was around 3 a.m. that I had my last epiphany of something that I was seeing. And it's like me telling, this is like my video diary, me telling my story as it's unfolding, which is another reason why please watch the videos in order, because they all do build on the last one. So that was one thing I wanted to say. And for those of you who are new, well, everyone's new. Come on, there's only one person on here already. Everyone is new, so welcome on board. This is just me telling my spiritual journey as a Lightworker and a Sirian Starseed. Let me go back to... where were we? Oh gosh, I took a lot of notes. I had to rescribe my notes. I think it took an hour and a half for me to rescribe my notes. All right, so the last time we had a video, it was the Dark Night of the Soul. And that was the morning of the episode of the Dark Night of the Soul. And I was very real and raw in that video, and I told you guys everything that happened and what was said and the feelings that were evoked. What you didn't know, and I didn't know until recently, was that the Dark Night of the Soul lasted exactly for 7 days. Almost to the hour. It came during the night and it left during the wee hours of the morning. So, meaning it came on when I fell asleep and then it left in the early morning hours of 7 days later. I thought that was quite symbolic that it actually took 7 days, 1 week. I'm taking that from the text in the Bible that God created the earth in 7 days, or was it the earth and the universe in 7 days? It's been a long time since I read that. But the interesting thing is, on the last day of that, and a note that I had put in here was, I was finally reconnected with my spirit team on this evening's prayer meditation in my favorite park, where instead of doing 3 walks around this rotunda circle that I've mentioned before, it took 5 walks. And this was all prior to that ending. So I was able to reconnect with my team after the Dark Night had officially been 7 days. Now, when I was going under the prayer meditation, my circle walk, I did not know that it was going to be 7 days. It was just, that's what happened. Here is something that also appeared in a dream. I was in a dream and I woke up at the exact moment where I was saying to a group of people, I think I was telling people that already knew I was a light worker. I think I was talking to a group, and I said specifically, I got that from my spirit guide, the White Phoenix, and I wrote it down as an exact quote. It's from a dream I had, and at that same moment, I also saw the White Phoenix, and I actually learned that the White Phoenix is a female. So I thought that was very, very interesting, because in the dream, it felt like I was in not like a classroom setting, but I was talking to a group of people that were there to listen to my story specifically, and someone had asked a question about something, and that was my answer. That was the context of the dream. And so I thought that was very interesting. And when I log this in, I log it in on the days it actually happens. So while I was on the trip, I decided to watch, it had, both nights had a television that you could log into YouTube. And if you can have YouTube on a television in a hotel, if you're not able to log in, you won't see your videos that are waiting for you if you subscribe to someone. So when there's a television that has where you can open up YouTube specifically and then sign in, then it's perfect, because I can catch up on a video that I don't have, because it always goes in under my subscriptions. So this video was with Molly at Crossroads Meets the Ocean Rose, and I have her reference on my homepage. Some of the things that were pointed out that were very relevant for me was that Archangel Michael is blocking a devil-like energy from me. My protection from my angels is like a force field. Okay, so we're going to go forward a little bit. You don't know about the force field experience I've had. I saw myself, I'm just going to say it briefly, because I'm going to tell the story in a video, because it's a great story. I saw myself in a forest where I was standing moments before, I could feel the earth, the energy of the earth, and I could see and feel my light. I could tell that my light went down to the core of the earth, and I could tell my light went up to the earth. It was a third eye vision within me at the same time that I was actually undergoing, standing in the earth, feeling the energy at that time and feeling my light. So it was like a dual experience. And when she mentioned it's like a force field, I literally saw myself encased in not going to say a plasma membrane, but it was something that looked like it had a glass effect on the outside of it. It was a big, it looked like it might have been a big globe. And when the sunlight hit it, it reflected the colors of the rainbow. Now that's very significant, because you guys, I think I've told you, or if I haven't, I have a series of tanks on the other channel that are entitled the Rainbow Series that I've been planning for a couple of months before all this happened. And so I thought it was very relevant that the color fragment that was coming off of it was a rainbow, because the Rainbow Series came to me divinely guided. And I thought, okay, this is just confirmation. I'm seeing the color of the rainbow on this, what looks to be like a membrane I'm inside, and it's protecting me. So it had a reflection of glass, but I knew it wasn't. But I called it automatically my mystic quartz aura, because a mystic quartz is a rock that's had, I think, titanium applied to the outside of it, so that when sun hits it, it reflects the colors of the rainbow. So that's what I called it. It just came to me just instinctively, just to call it that. So whenever she called out that it's like a force field, I had a flashback right then to me standing in the forest with this aura around me. And I was like, oh my God, that's like a direct correlation to what I've already felt before. And another comment was, very loved by the divine. And I put a question mark. Why? Okay, I'm just on a mission. Why? There's a reason. Very important. Again, why? That I need to be clearing out all negative energy so I can ascend. Now, we are just, at this point, one day past the dark night of the soul experience, where I did have, over this trip, a second experience purging more information that came straight to me that I needed to get rid of. And it was a very beautiful feeling. It ended my dark night of the soul, but it also cleansed me at the same time. It was amazing. It's kind of hard to describe, but it was really amazing. I was really thankful for the event. And then that I will have what's called inspiring messages, and that love is my message. And I noticed that when I've been doing my prayers, I had been picking up on the word love and trying to use it as much as possible in my prayers. And here was another one: pray for those against me, for them to heal and love. So I took that literally and started doing that in my prayer session that night. That the people that I felt like had done me wrong, or the ones that I don't know have something against me or want to do ill, I started praying for them. And I did something even different. I said, whatever their energy is, I said that my light can find this energy at the moment of its inception. It renders it mute. Then it transmutes it from negative to positive. So my light converts the energy itself automatically, where I'm not doing anything. It's my light in action. And so that positive new energy that's just been born out of the negative, it's taking that negative out of the universe. And so instead of just saying, don't let this negative affect me, no, you want your power to say, take that negative, I want to convert that to positive light. And what I do, I take it a step further. And this is just something that comes out of my intuition. None of this is anything I've read anywhere before. I'm asking Archangel Michael, who is cutting the binds between me and anyone that has any ill towards me. And I'm saying that my energy and my light, when it transmutes this, it turns it into diamond dust, much like what we see in the night sky when the sky is very bright. And that diamond dust gets automatically delivered to a leather pouch that I have provided to Archangel Michael, and he wears it on his side. And this diamond dust automatically goes into it for him to dispense blessings on anyone he deems necessary. Because we know a lot of people pray specifically to their archangels that they feel close to or feel a connection to. And so I want him to have the ability to be able to take this new energy source and use it for blessings for people in their time of need that don't necessarily have the strength to pull themselves out of it themselves. This is something to assist them. And I feel very proud to be a co-creator in this process and a co-protector of maybe the innocents that are falling under duress or under harm from someone else. So basically you're saying that you want to forgive these people of what they're doing to you. You want to release their energy back into the universe. You want to forgive them. You want to offer them love. You want them to have healing. But at the moment that there is negativity out there, for light workers, you want your light to go out, and it will find them immediately. And you will know this about your light, because when you awaken and you see your third eye vision, if that's how you get it, or some people, it could come in the form of a dream. But for me, it's a third eye vision. I saw my light the first time, and that's from Metatron. So Metatron provides me with the vision. He shows me how fast my light goes out across the universe. My light is not limited to being physically near me. My light can travel the universe, and it can seek out and destroy and mute the negativity there. So what my light is doing as an action is it's seeking out at the moment of inception or conception or thought or deed, finds it, renders that person mute, meaning they have no power over you. But now also you're transmuting that negative that they've created and you're turning it into something positive. That's where you're co-creating. You're co-creating positive light energy. You're multiplying your light's ability. And you're able to, if you offer it to someone, one of the archangels, you're offering to them to use as blessings. So it's another way to spread your light out further than you might think possible. So just think of that as one of your tools that you can use as you become accustomed to understanding that you are a light worker and understanding what is your role as a light worker. We, as I get it, are here to elevate humanity. I am specifically here to help activate light workers, to get you to wake up and to understand what's going on. And then also, I am to secure light codes, and I can do that by listening to light code Hertz music. And it can go into me psychically. It just can be absorbed during the sleep or whatever. And then with that knowledge, when I speak, the information you need to hear should come out. So it's not like anything we do here is set in stone and it's a text. No, it's quite the opposite. It's my voice is what you're hearing, but I don't believe most of this is coming from my brain. Most of this is coming because it's guided. It's divine intervention. I may be giving the information I need to give you at the time it comes out. It's maybe a better way to say it. So I hope this kind of makes sense. So when I started to do that, I felt it that evening immediately. Immediately, I could feel the difference. I could feel a shift. I felt more of a closeness and more of a calmness. So that was kind of cool. Now, on another reading that I had listened to, it was for, was a tarot reading that was for a specific date. And so this is what came out, that during this time frame, the veil is the thinnest between the physical and non-physical, meaning that this is your best opportunity to get something across as a message, or to listen for something, or to get guidance for something, or maybe to ask a question about something, or to get clarification about something, because the veil is the thinnest. Another thing, and this wasn't specific for light workers, but it said this: to look inward, to face what we avoid, because we are under the death and rebirth. Now, this was prior to before the dark night of the soul ended. So that was very important to me to hear that what I was going to be facing, I had more of it to face, to have my death and my rebirth. So therefore, that is why my dark night of the soul took 7 full days. I had another message that was saying, encouraging to get rid of more, face more of your fears, which I did. It was not easy. It was easier than a dark night of the soul was initially. But I was able to purge out and release that back into the universe. And that's what's always important. When you're acknowledging something and you no longer know it fits you, it serves no purpose for you, that's when you release it back with light and love back into the universe. If you want to give it to one of your angels, give it to one of your angels to let them deal with it. But always you want to deliver it back with light and love. Because remember, you are light and you are love. Another one was during this time frame when the veil is its thinnest, you will get increased intuitive insights. Amen. I could just say amen to that one. And here was something I scratched down really, really fast about. It was kind of a prayer that you can say. Dear universe, cancel any ties that no longer feel healthy or are misaligned. I take back my energy from those that abused me. I choose peace and clarity and to share myself with those I align with or those I love with. So what's important about this is that a lot of time, think about your essence as a light worker. Some people are going to be drawn to you because of your light and because they want to take your light, they want to feed off of your light because they have a dark energy and your light feeds them. So they want to be around you. It doesn't serve you any purpose because they're stealing your energy. People like that, if you have too many around you, will make you feel useless. They'll make you feel exhausted all the time. You won't have any motivation to do anything. I have experienced it. I know what it feels like. And let me tell you, when you put the brakes on and you realize what's actually happening, I'm going to tell you, I had to get rid of the two most important people in my life, a 15-year best friend and my husband, because they were the two main people sucking the light out of me, but not giving it back. They were never there for me. They always wanted me to help them with their issues, but they weren't willing to reciprocate. And they always came up with excuses why they couldn't or limitations on why they couldn't. So that's very important. I did not understand in the beginning when I woke up how I was supposed to protect myself and my light. I did not realize how bright my light was and how it could be seen psychically and also physically. And I haven't told you this story yet, but when I was very young, I've always been a runner and a jogger, always, always, always. When I started being a flight attendant, I stopped. I couldn't do it because it's too much. I'm on my feet. We're in a pressurized cabin. It's more painful. But there's been times when I was out jogging, even in the daytime. I had two strangers on two different occasions wait for me to come around because they wanted to see whose light that was so bright. That's how some people can see it. I was on a plane work trip, I think it was 2 weeks ago. I was serving a lady at the window and she just mentioned quietly, I can see your light. You have a beautiful light. So some people have the gift of being able to see it. Now, I don't have anything like that. I can't tell I would not be able to tell another light worker, but I do have the gift of being able to read energy, so I can see when someone is dangerous or someone who's not genuine or someone I don't want to be around. So my intuition tells me that, and I can read the energy very well. But I thought that was very, very interesting. It was a real world example of someone showing me very neutral situations. This wasn't, anytime other, the plane thing, yes, I already knew I was a light worker when that happened. But before, when I've been just out in public, before all this, I never knew I was a light worker. I didn't know my light was that bright. I didn't understand what they were talking about. I've had a psychic tell me that I needed to have my aura photographed because I'd be shocked at the colors that came off, how striking the colors are, and how powerful the colors are. I didn't know what that meant. It's just very interesting. Let me see what else I got. Okay, so now this is after my dark night. I put down that I had a breakthrough. These are the notes that came out of my prayer session. So, and when I'm in a prayer session, things that do come out are things that are coming to the forefront, and they're not my thoughts. Just let me tell you that. It's things that come to my mind that I'm like, oh, okay, that's what I need to know. And I'll log it in or I'll write it down on a scratchy paper. My light will heal the people of the planet. That's huge. That's a big, okay, for those of you who are new to this, that's kind of scary. That's a lot of pressure to think that, you're going to be able to heal the people. And it did mess me up at first. When I first learned I was a light worker and I had a mission, I was like, oh my God, really? But now that I know how easy it is to administer assistance to the planet because I just started doing it and it was really easy and it was fun. And now it feels natural. Okay, you guys know I'm not gonna hide anything from you. This is what I wrote. I had a prayer for MAGA, Christian nationalists. And when I say Christian nationalists, I'm talking about the ones that are on the Republican side that use religion as a weapon. They weaponize religion to exclude, to cast out, to judge, to seem superior to all others. And those of you who are in religion will know exactly what I'm talking about. If you don't, post a question. I posted for these people to heal and follow Jesus' teachings, which will be an uphill challenge for them, trust me, to not hate, to not be in this destruction mode, and not to be filled with lies, because they're filled with lies. They use lies and fake smiles and politics and corporate leaders, corporations, mega financial wizards that control the world have gotten away with far too much. And I'm talking about, this goes back to Trump's first term. If you guys remember, his first term, he enacted that tax credit for the billionaires. That's why he had to get elected again, because his tax credit would have ended this year. And so his mission was to get elected president a second time so that he can ensure the billionaire tax break would take place. And then he's ran amok with it since then. He's destroyed every agency we have. There is nothing normal going on in our government now. And if you don't believe that, you need to quit watching Fox News and CNN and everybody else. You need to go to independent media, like the rest of us that are getting it off of YouTube. The Midas Touch Network. There's 3 other ones that I watch. Keith Edwards, he's really, really good. That are showing you the actual true stories of what's happening. If you don't believe American cities are under siege, you are grossly ignorant right now. And if you don't know that the vast thousands of people that lost their jobs just this month alone because of his policies, look it up. It's scary what is going to happen to us over the next year, because people are going to start waking up and they're not going to be able to afford anything because it's so out of control. But that is me digressing. But that is my work as a light worker as well. The people in charge are the ones that are causing so much of this chaos. Think about the first time Trump was president. He came out and said white supremacists were good people. He gave a voice and frontline news to white supremacy. He gave them a president that they could look up to. Those are the people that now are in his ICE team. And if you guys don't understand what's going on about that, look up how to become an ICE agent and see how much they're getting paid. There's $50,000 sign-on bonuses. They wipe out their student loans. They get, I think it's $4,000 for every single person that gets deported as a bonus. So if you thought that it was bad when what's-his-face with the electric cars was running the government and supposedly saving all this fake money that they weren't saving, the reason why we don't have any money now is because it's all being funneled into ICE. That is the truth. So I also put down, I'm telling you, I don't hold back. I'm praying for full disclosure on Epstein. Epstein has hung around for more than 2 decades now. This could have been released under the Democrats, yes, and that was their fault. They should have released it because we wouldn't be dealing with this right now. This should have been dealt with. But there's such influential people in power that are controlling the purse strings and controlling the government that they do not want it to be exposed. I want it exposed. I'm praying that it will be exposed. And I want my light workers to join me in this, because the more people that stand up against this fascist regime will be the ones that will be standing there hoping and praying for a better solution for the children that come up after this. And that this in history will be a very sad footnote, but it will enact new changes in our government to ensure that something does not like this ever happens again. And it's waking up a lot of people to the misconception that you cannot take your vote so lightly by saying, oh, I'm skipping an election, or oh, I'm voting independent. That's bull, whatever. It doesn't help. We only have two parties in action. So you should never be voting for a third, because that means you're wiping a vote out. You should be voting for one or the other. And you should look at what they stand for, not what your family votes. I came from a Republican family. My family voted for Trump. It's a disgrace. Also, okay. I am also praying for the corporations that are the ones that are causing all the chaos to have a tower or a takedown of those that abuse our citizens. And that my light awakens other light workers. And I'm looking for a fake Facebook reversal. I want for the public to quit posting fake lives on Facebook and get back to what's real. Looking constantly and scrolling Facebook is not a life. Being envious of what you think other people are doing is not healthy for you. You need to be living in your own life, connected to your own family and your own community, not dreaming about, oh, I wish I was doing what they were doing because that looks fabulous. Trust me, I'm on the plains where those families are. I can tell you a very different story. That photo is been posed and poshed and everything perfect in it. But the reality is you and I both know the difference. So that's just my 2 cents. Oh, okay. Now, so when I was in this prayer session, oh my God, you guys were thinking, oh my God, this guy's crazy. That's okay. You can think I'm crazy. I don't care. I saw my light spread out and grow as people were awakening. And it was beautiful. I actually was hovering over the earth. I might have been on White Phoenix. I'm not sure. I might have. I may have been on White Phoenix. Maybe she was flying and I was just riding. But I could see it, and people were waking up. Because I did this first prayer specifically for North America, if you can't tell. I mean, I was very specific. North America, Mexico, and Canada. I did a very specific prayer. This was the first one. And it took me a long time to do it. Oh, here I got it. Yes, I soared with the White Phoenix. Okay, so I was on the White Phoenix. I was in armor. Oh, yeah. Okay, I'm trying to think. Yes, and it was really pretty. We are a team. Phoenix is of the light. Okay, so it was an entire hour of this prayer meditation, and I had a meditative music going on in the background. So yeah, it took an hour. Okay, so in this, I also realized I can heal, I can illuminate, I can activate, I can awaken others via prayer. That came out of this. Oh, and here we go again. I saw the Phoenix and I traveled across North America and I prayed for America to heal. That sounds so cheesy, but oh my God, it was amazing. Standing more in my power to heal, manifest my prayers for the planet. That was something that came out of this. And when I was talking about this, something that always happens, when I gain insight and my voice kind of changes and I become a very authoritarian, very firm in my stance about what my powers are, like I am a commander. Like, I'm commander, and this is what I'm saying. This is what's happening. This is what we're going to do. That's what happens. Oh, yeah, and I have my eyes closed, which I normally do when I'm praying. But I could see white light coming through my eyelids. Now, there was no light on in the room, but I could see white light. So, while listening to Awakening Inner Strength. Oh, okay. So that's what was happening. My intuition was most clear. Okay, my handwriting gets really messy. And I was listening to a 782 hertz miracle tone music. Okay, so if any of you want to look on there, you can get this off of YouTube. Just put in HZ music, and all these videos will pop up, anywhere from like an hour or more, with beautiful graphics sometimes. But I always go for the one that sounds beautiful to me. And I don't go for the ones that say, oh, abundant, money, blah, blah, blah. No, I don't go for those. I go for ones that I think are going to help me as a light worker, or a Sirian. I go for the Sirian ones as well. Okay, so now, okay, what day is it? Okay, so this breakthrough was at 1:54 a.m. on the 29th. Now, this is 6 a.m. on the 29th. This is when I'm getting ready for work. So here we go. So this is the few hours of sleep afterwards. This is 5 hours of sleep afterwards. Okay. So feeling a renewed sense of ease, like when my worries went away earlier in the year. And I'm going to do a session on that. There was a time shift, I think it was, on the zodiac, and a lot of readings said things were going to happen during this time shift, or something like that. I can't remember. We'll discuss it when it's in that video. But the day after this happened, the event that was supposed to happen that day, that next morning, I woke up. I had not one worry. None. Not one worry, not one concern. It was clean, clear, empty. And I thought about it for about 30 seconds. And I was like, oh my God, this is what it's like to not worry about something? What happened? So everything that I would normally worry about was taken away. That was one of my gifts. It was just gone. Every day since then, it's been like that. Every single day. I woke up, there's nothing I'm worried about. I mean, there's just nothing. I'm not worried about paying my bills. I know that I'll pay my bills. I'm not worried about what you guys think. I'm going to do a video anyway. Someone out there is going to get this. It doesn't bother me. If I have one view, hopefully that one view is a light worker that gets something out of this. I'm doing my mission. That's my job. And then I do a regular job to pay the bills. And then I have aquascaping, which is my passion project. So I'm really busy, so it doesn't bother me. Okay, this is good. This is good. Okay, here we really get good here. Questioning my prior relationships with my guides and the divine, Gaia, and why I'm so grounded to Mother Earth. Ooh, that's a biggie. Have I known and worked with them before? Was I previously a guide as well? Did we all form a soul contract together and plan out this mission? All this is based on how much my guides and the divine love me, also on the importance of my mission, possibly an answer to why I chose it. Also, the prayers for North America breakthrough, what we just talked about. Very thought-provoking. I can manifest and heal and activate with my spoken words through prayer. Prayer for the population, for light workers to activate. Prayer to end hatred and renewal of love and peace, harmony, justice, and honesty. End greedy corporations or power-hungry to have a tower, then to realign humanity and helping versus massive profits. Oh my God. For to fall. What? Oh, for felon to fall. Felon, the president, because he is a felon. Epstein files to meet sunlight for the victims. And oh, okay. So that's everything that was that next day. Now, it's very important. Did we cover it? Okay. Oh God, I hope I remember this part. There's something I need to cover, but I'm going to go ahead and finish. The next night, I woke up from a dream that the ending was not revealed. The dream was a sci-fi dream. And now what you guys need to know is, since I was in my very, very early 20s, I've always had dreams where I was either in a sci-fi or I was in an action, and sometimes I was waiting for the action to happen, or I was just about to get caught, or somebody was going to catch me, or, you know, something was going to happen on the sci-fi ship I was on. And it kind of hit me, those might not be dreams. Could that be a blueprint for a mission? Was that a blueprint from a mission? This came exactly, of course, one day after realizing that my angels and I all may know each other. This was a joint planned mission. So I came to realize, you know, I've told you before that I agreed to this mission only if my angels were in place as guides to help me. I feel that. Also, here's relevance. I have stated, and I have argued, and when I'd argue, I would say specifically, I would have not taken on any mission if I knew it would not be revealed of my gifts and talents and overall vision of the mission. I have been saying that for weeks. I never would have signed up for this, because it's always about, oh no, you signed up for this mission. No, I never would have signed up for a mission if I did not know what my talents were. If I did not know the overall goal of the mission, no, I would not sign up for this. I would be arguing with, especially Archangel Michael, Metatron, and the Divine. And I told you guys, I have arguments with them, but I wouldn't have done this. I wouldn't have signed up for this. This does not sound like me. Well, okay, here we go. When I was 10 years old, the one bright spot, when I was 10 years old, I had a teacher, Mrs. French, and she would give us a page out of a magazine. The page would have a picture on it. And then you were to sit and write a story, like a 2-page story of that photo, like what you thought was happening in the photo. Okay, I excelled at this. So the one thing my classmates waited for is when my story time would come up, because I always had a really interesting story. And so one of them was, I don't remember what the picture was, but it was a killer in my story. And in my story, the killer was my teacher, Mrs. French. So she calls me out into the hallway and tells me I can't read my story. And I was like, why? And she tells me, because I used her as the person who was the killer. And I said, but that's a compliment, because it was a compliment. I thought it was a cool thing that she was going to be the killer. She didn't think so. And we didn't do those after that. That was the last time we did one of those. So, I mean, I guess she saw where it backfired, is because I actually wanted to use her as the killer in my version of the story. And so when I came back into the room, they knew I'd gotten in trouble, and I didn't get to read my story. And people actually moaned about it because they were looking forward to my story. So I had to give her my story. I had to give it up as evidence, apparently. And then we didn't do it anymore. But I used to write as a child, and I thought, wow, if that had been just the opposite, maybe I would have been encouraged to write, because I've always thought I should write. And then I was thinking, fast forward to when I started having all these dreams, and sometimes I would try to write the dream down, but I could only get fragments of it. It was like just a little teaser. It wasn't the whole thing. And I thought, okay, well, maybe then I'm not supposed to write a book about sci-fi, because that's what I thought for a while. So were all the past action sci-fi dreams actually memories of a past mission, a resurfacing of a mission? Also, everything is preordained down to the placement of the tiniest grain of sand in the desert, except for free will. That's the one thing. And This part's really important. Missions are planned so intricately down to the millisecond, ages in advance, with the entire crew in full knowledge. I believe I was indeed excited to take on this mission, the double mission to help this family I'm now a part of and to help the world heal. And something I saw in my vision at this time when I was undergoing all this was when I was talking about how missions are planned out to the intricacy, I saw timelines. I saw infinite number of timelines as lights on a grid, and they pair off and they just go. They don't go like in a snake fashion. They're always kind of a stick, and then they may fork and then do this. And then there's layers of them. Picture it as a layer of an electric grid layer, where every layer is a layer, and there's timelines on every one of them. It's packed, every layer is packed with timelines, and they all overlay each other. So it's like thousands and thousands of timelines. And the divine collective oversees this. They're overseeing, that's why we call it in divine timing. But we have free will as humans. So when someone's free will interacts on a timeline that was predetermined, guess what? That shifts that timeline. So now, let's say you're on a timeline to meet with someone or an event, but they do something that changes things. Well, now your timeline's going to change and their timeline's going to change. But if you're supposed to be together, they got to realign these timelines. That takes a lot of work because everyone has free will, and free will can intervene. So just like as a light worker, you can say, yes, I'm going to embrace my light. I'm going to join and work on my mission. Or you could say, no, I'm not. I'm going to live in the ego, and I'm just going to pursue ego. Okay, well, there is karmic justice. The universe will balance out. You will not receive what you would have received as a light worker as, reward or whatever we want to call it. You'll get the opposite. And then you'll be stuck in that limbo until you complete that mission. So let's say you're in a karmic cycle. You're going to be stuck in that until maybe the next life or the next life or the next life, until you learn your lesson and get back on track. So that's what kind of it's like when I say there's all these grids of multiple timelines. So my take on that was that yes, this was all preordained. This role seemed really challenging and interesting, and I believe I was a main planner, and that I may have chosen my crew. I chose my kingdom spouse, and those of you who remember this from another video, I said I'm supposed to have a kingdom spouse coming forward, and my fallen twin. I'm married to a fallen twin. I'm a twin flame. He's a twin flame. He did not step up for the mission. So he is a fallen twin, and he's living in his ego. So that's why we're no longer aligned with each other. And the kingdom spouse that's coming in, I believe, is a past life connection, another soul that I've been with several times in other lifetimes. We have a connection. We're not always in the same relationship. We could be friends. We could be relatives. In this one, we're supposed to be partners. And our souls will know each other when we meet. And I believe that this soul and I were planned, that we were planned to meet up, because one reading in the very, very beginning, before I even knew anything that was going on, they said, you have a kingdom spouse, past life soul connection that's coming forward for you. that's going to help you in your mission. That was one of the very first ones that I've never forgotten it. And I thought, and when I thought this, I thought, wow, it brought me right back to the very beginning when I started learning about this stuff. So this is literally my mission. Meaning my mission, I know I had something to do with the planning of this, and I may have been one of the main planners other than the divine, because you don't send out just anybody to do something as complicated as what this sounds like on paper, because I was born into a family where I was an unwanted birth. I was given up by my birth mother, given to her mother, which was too old to raise a child, an infant. And then I was going to be adopted, and that took 5 years. I was returned twice. So not only was I abandoned at pregnancy, I was abandoned twice by my birth family. There are no photos of me before the age of, I think it's 3, because my mother burned everything I had because she wanted no memories because of the trauma that she was undergoing with not getting me. So it took until I was 5 years old, and my birth mother was trying to extort money for my adoption. And so that, knowing, I would have known ahead of time as a planner of the mission that I was stepping into a role that was going to be challenging from birth. Now, that makes a powerful statement, because as a child, I was always extremely spiritual from the beginning. I was talking to God at 5, and I was not raised in a religious family at all. And I was actually told to not talk about it and told to be quiet, so it was squelched. So my soul knew about the divine. My soul was talking to the divine. And I'm led to believe now, as a consequence, that when this mission was planned out and they knew the vessel they were going to be placed into was going to be challenging, because then I was also a redhead, and I was gay, and I was bullied my entire life. So it was challenging from being abandoned all the way up until I graduated from high school. So by the time I was 18, I'd had all the abuse I could ever take and wanted nothing to be around anybody but people that felt completely differently. And that's when I sought out my actual family, family that would be family according to, people that you love to be around that are like your family. So I know that when planning this mission for this character, we're going to call it this character, the character me, it would need someone that they had a lot of trust in, that could overcome karma of a grand scale, because I was told that when I entered this family and I completed my karmic cycle, that I released a generational karma. Oh God, I can't remember what the name of it is. It's not a cloud, but it's a karmic curse on the family. I wiped that out. I've already wiped that out. I've already gotten past that. That's why I'm awake now. It's because I was able to get past it. I worked past it. So that's how I have been chosen when I was awake, and now I know about my mission. So now I can start my mission and go on from there. So the family I'm in will reap the benefits of me being in this family, because everything they've done prior amounted to nothing. No one could ever make any status, any money, nothing. Everyone has always been poor. It's migrant farm workers, it's farmers that are broke. And so I've broken that cycle. So that's one positive for this family. So me being here has helped the family that I'm in right now. And then now my mission, my soul mission, can start and go from there. So part of this, I was thinking, why else would I naturally argue with my guides? I naturally knew who to argue with. I knew the 3 people, I can't keep saying people. I knew the 3 entities, the 3 angels and the divine and 2 archangels who I needed to argue with instinctively and call them out. And we had a lot of dialogue. And in this process, here's something else that's baffling amazingly to me. My intuition has been slightly ahead of every new discovery. So I'll discover it, and then a day later, there'll be one of my video sessions that I need to listen to, and it'll be brought up. It'll be brought up through a channeled message, something I need to hear. And I'm like, oh, well, there's conversation that I'm on the right track. Let's see. Oh, that we've already covered. The flashbacks of being like the movies I used to watch, movie dreams I used to have. Just one day prior, I felt like I must really know and be friends with my spirit team. That's the big thing right there. I started asking them, my spirit team, are we all friends? Have we all hung out before? Did we go on missions before? Have we coordinated things like this before? Because I've been told a long, long time ago in the beginning that I'm super, super old soul, and I've been a guide. So that means, I don't know if that means what a guide entails, but I know that I've been a guide. And I'm thinking, okay, well, I'm guessing that we have worked together on a lot of missions. We all know each other. And that's why the divine has a lot of love for me. That's why the angels have a lot of love for me. And that's why there's specific angels that have reached out to me, because we do have a relationship. And some of that knowledge is coming forward. That's the part I love. That part is amazing. So I believe I'm on the correct path, no doubt. And while I was writing these notes, not today, because I transcribed them. When I was writing these notes in the hotel room, my heart was racing because I felt like I had discovered something that I did not know prior. And I wrote down, this is so big. Now, here is what I'm going to call divine timing as a miracle. Okay, so the trip I'm on that ended today was a 1, 2, 3. 1 flight, 2 flights, 3 flights, 3-day trip. Now, I'm not used to working a long last day 3. You're exhausted because you don't hardly get sleep on your layovers. You don't get the food that you need. And, you're busy all the time. And so to do 3 of them with sit time between the flights, it just makes for an exhausting day. And I had started praying 2 days prior to please grant me the strength to be able to finish out the entire day, because I needed the hours on my schedule so I can make my budget. And because like a lot of people, I'm paycheck to paycheck. So I asked for prayers 2 days. So that last day is this morning, and at 4:30 this morning, I was down for van pickup, and one of my coworkers was in excruciating pain. Excruciating. And she was just going to work the flight and then call out sick when we got to Texas before we did our next 2 flights. And I'm like, no, you're in too much pain. She had tears running down her eyes, and she was in stabbing pain on her side. So the captain started talking to her, and the first officer started pulling up her symptoms. Another crew member and I were pulling up, where's the nearest hospital? Because it was like, no, this is a done deal. Captain says, no, we could be up in the air and something could happen and we can't get to medical that fast. We need to have you checked out now because this is excruciating. We thought she was having appendicitis. And so the captain and the first officer, not the first officer, but one of the flight attendants went with her to the emergency room, So come to find out, she was passing a kidney stone and it was too big to pass. That's why she was in, such pain. Those of you who have done it, you know what it's like. It's horrible. So she was going to have surgery today, and then they would keep her overnight, and then she could be released tomorrow. So during all this process, we had to get another flight attendant brought in from another city. So what happened was it delayed us 3 hours, but we also did not have to work the turn because that trip left 2 hours prior to when we would have even gotten there. So because we're at the end of the month, we're pay protected. So I didn't have to work the long day like I expected. and my coworker is going to be okay. It's thank God we caught this now, because if she had not said anything, we had been in the air, it could be so much worse. She would have been working the flight like the rest of us with a cart that weighs 250 pounds, and who knows what that would have done to her. And we didn't know at all what kind of shape she was in. So now we know that it's just a kidney stone, and the procedure is simple. It just means it has to be done. And she can't just let it pass naturally. So I've already found out from her, she's so much better. And I was like, oh my God. So that's what I call, that's divine timing right there. And what's even more shocking is I added this trip to my schedule. And on day one, I was sitting at the gate it was supposed to be. I did not get the alerts because they don't always come through quickly. There were 2 gate changes, and I was at the wrong gate when I was supposed to be at the right gate to sign in. And normally I would have panicked, but I just instinctively knew to stay calm. And I kept saying to myself, my angels are going to take care of me. I'm going to get there on time. It's going to be okay. So I get on the tram to get to the new gate. The tram goes out of service. We have to get off and get on another tram. I'm just like sweating. I'm panicking. I'm like, no, don't panic. Just calm down. So I get off the tram station. I walk up. I have 5 minutes. 5 minutes left. I was like, oh, thank goodness. So I could have panicked and freaked out, but instead I just trusted my guides. And that's another instance of how it's working in my life. And I think, oh no, I have another page of notes. But one of the things I wanted to say is I saw a shift in my attitude and actions for the betterment. And so that really impressed me, that I'm taking their advice, because I didn't tell you this. I got advice, and it said to relax. Just relax and trust and have faith. And so I started doing that. I started doing just that. And the message came through right when I needed it, because it happened the day before this trip, and then that happened with me wanting to freak out because I was at the wrong place, because we get in trouble if we sign in late. Actually, we get an attendance point, and they're serious about those. Okay, so because both hotels had tubs, which is rare. Most hotels only have showers. I was able to do a meditation bath both nights and listen to meditative music at the same time and do my extended prayers. So the prayer that I started first for North America, I kind of like added to the next night. And so I'm trying to get into a rhythm for that. To me, I call that taking my prayers to a new level. And let's see. For me, doing the prayers and what I'm calling for healing feels very normal. I feel empowered to do this, and will pray and meditate more about this. So that's the notes from this trip. I wanted to stress that the worst night of the dark night of the soul was the first night. Now, I don't know how it'll be for everyone else, but it was for me. It was just the first night was the worst night. But it got better and better and better until I purged the last of those feelings on what would have been the 7th day of the experience. And then when I woke up from that it was just renewed, refreshing. It was amazing. I'm so thankful for the experience. I hope you guys find the information that I'm sharing with you to be, beneficial, that you can at least maybe resonate with it. If it doesn't, that's okay. If you have more questions about it, please let me know in the comments. I'm doing this as my version of a video diary, so that I can track this, and that if anyone who needs these videos, they'll be out there on the internet. That's my whole point, is to try and to help someone. But in this, okay, every video, something touches my nose like a feather. Somebody's in here messing with me again, every single video. But I just hope that the passion I have for spirit comes through. My love and unending passion for Gaia and Mother Earth herself, because I am so connected to Mother Earth. And I actually did get out yesterday in Milwaukee. Was I in Milwaukee? No, where was I at? Minnesota? Yeah, I was in Minnesota, and walk along the river, and it was freezing cold out, but it was beautiful. The sun was shining. It felt amazing. I was able to get out and just really enjoy the layover, which is, it's getting almost too cold to get out, but I mean, it is for me because I'm in Texas where it's always warmer, but I didn't have a jacket. But it was beautiful out, and I saw, there's something I'm going to post on the channel. It's quite a miracle on its own. It's a photo I took from the sky, and I was amazed at what the divine did for me while I took that photo. Now, I'm used to taking lots of photos, so when you see the photo, just trust me, it's not doctored, it's not AI. It actually came out the way it did, and I was in shock. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoy this. Please give me a comment. Let me know if you have any questions. I am completely open. So until either you see me up in the skies or on the next video update, you guys have a great day. Bye-bye.